up, y'all? Zachary Make Money Mowing. But I have an intro now, so I have to stop saying that because it'll become redundant. This video, I just want to reply to a few comments. I think I'm going to start doing this more often, to where I go through my recent comments and I'll reply to either questions or people sharing their own stories about their own business, or even if it's constructive criticism. I want to start diving into it so we could all discuss it together and we could all make the world a better place, right? Is my advice perfect? No. Am I saying it's perfect? No. But I feel like I've been through a lot to where I can at least share my experiences and stories with someone else. And if I can make one person's journey in business easier just from sharing what I've been through, then I feel like my job is done and I'm happy, right? So with that being said, here's the video. Let's just jump into it. The first one I saw was from Raul Lara. I need a different phone so I could just look at the screenshot, but I'm writing it down. So Raul Lara commented just a couple days ago on one of my work vlog, my $500 workday vlogs. He said, "It's hard to believe that you get that much money. I get $40 per yard in California for a yard that size. Does that price include detailing the bushes as well?" And the first thing I want to say, Raul, and I hope you watch this, or else this video would be kind of like pointless, but just think about it. You're one person in California. I'm one person in Texas. Do you think that I'm the most expensive lawn care person in the world? I'm not. I'm just one guy on YouTube who just posts videos about his lawn care business. And don't give yourself the self-defeating or the I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you can charge as much as you want. I mean, fairly subjectively, like the difference between 40 and 50. If you're charging 40, I get people who comment on my videos and say that they can't even charge 25 in their area, wherever they're at, right? So don't even get caught up on the price between you and I being different. It doesn't matter. I mean, I guess you can get really technical about it, but I don't know. It's just a common comment that I get. A common comment that I get a lot is, how do you charge that much? It's like, I don't know. I started at like 30, 40, and then I started creeping my way up $5 a year until I hit my peak of around 50, 60. And I think if I charged 65 to 70 for yards in my area, they'd probably look at me crazy. But if I said 50, 60, and I guarantee everything, a job well done, consistency, it's just me, I pay attention, I do a good job, then I can command 50, 60 pretty easily. And it's just, once you have your confidence built and you have all the numbers already built out, it's like you can give a 50 and you could be nervous, or you can give a 50 and say, take it or leave it, because I know I'm going to get it on the next customer. If you say no, if the customer says no, then I'll just get it for the next one, because I know that I do a good job and it's worth the extra money. Versus if you want to pay $20 for Joe Mo from Craigslist to go try it, go for it. But if you want to pay for someone who you know is going to do a good job, whose reviews are right here in front of you, then I'm right here. So it's up to you. So Raul, I would just say 40 is great. I mean, the difference between 40 and 50 is negligible. Of course, that's like 20%, but you'll get there too. If you're charging 40, I don't see why you couldn't be charging 50. That's just my opinion. And the second part of the question is, does price include detailing bushes? No. So I just had a talk, or people in my group were talking about this recently, and they were saying that they charge like $200 a month, and that includes like maintenance of the beds and the shrubs and stuff. I experimented with that for a little bit. I didn't like it, honestly. I'd rather just trim the shrubs as needed, which is maybe 2 to 4 times per year for my houses. So if you want to charge, like if I charge $100 per month for two $50 mows, I could do that. Or I could say, versus $100 a month, I could say $200 a month, and I'll always trim your shrubs and always keep your shrubs cleaned up and sculpted, and the beds removed of leaves. You can do all that stuff. I just never been crazy about that. I like the simple method of just charging for mowing, and whenever they need shrubs, I'll just charge them for it. Whenever they need mulch put down, I'll charge them for it. Whenever they need anything else, I'll charge them for it, just a la carte. But I just like having a lawn maintenance business model, not a full property maintenance business model. So by just having the lawn maintenance, my $50 mows on average, it just keeps it simple for me to maintain everything. And yeah, so I hope that helps, Raul. $40 is great, and then I don't see why you couldn't be charging 50. But the main thing is, I don't want you to compare yourself to me and be like, how are you charging so much? I'm not doing enough. It doesn't, like, it's so subjective, and as long as you're happy with your business, then maybe you can make less than me, but you could save your money more efficiently to where you pound for pound take home more than me, right? It's like you don't know you're just seeing a price, but that's such a small part of the equation. So I hope that helps, Raul. Let me go find another comment, because I'm going to do 3 comments. And question number 2 is Misael M-I-S-A-E-L-M. What's up? So he said, I live in Dallas and struggle with raising my prices. I gave an estimate for a lady for $40, and she said her old guy did it for $25. It's hard to compete. So this right here too, this is something that I went through a lot in the beginning. I would give a price, I would say 30, 40, 50, and then people would say, yeah, my old guy did it for 25, 20 bucks. They would always undercut me. It's like, no matter what price I said, there was always their old guy who did it for $5, $10, $20 less than me. And in the beginning I said, okay, well, I guess I want the business, right? So I'll match that price. And every single time I've ever matched the price going down from my quote, if I said 40, if I took a 30 because the customer said my old guy did it for 30, I always regretted it. I never liked doing the yard because of the principle of the matter. And I never stuck long term with those yards. I don't like undercutting myself. If you're starving and you need work, I'll quit. That's fine, of course. Like, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But I think you'll soon realize that if the person was doing it for $25 for that lady first, where are they now? That's like the number one thing I would tell you to think to yourself logically. If that guy was doing it for $25, why did she call you for a quote? And why is she trying to get somebody else to do the yard? Is she trying to get it done for $20? Which is a possible scenario. And that's like, okay, we'll just walk away from the customer right then and there, because they're just trying to get bottom dollar for lawn care. But I've asked my customers, okay, well, may I ask what happened with your old lawn service that you didn't like, which is why you're trying to hire me? And then you'll realize that a lot of these customers don't have an answer prepared. And I think really they're making up numbers sometimes, not all the time, but most of the time. They're just trying to haggle with you. And that's, I don't know, I guess that's normal, like in this Western world, not Western world, but it's just normal to haggle the prices. But I would say if you just sit and you just twiddle your thumbs over, man, I said 40, the customer said 25, and now I didn't land it, I'm doomed, then yeah, it's going to be gloomy. But if you just focus on advertising and getting more quotes and just make it a game of volume in the beginning at least, then you'll realize that for all the $40 quotes that you say, maybe 2 out of 10 will say my old guy did it for 25, and then maybe four of the other ones will say yes, and then the other ones will just say no. And it's just a matter of getting enough customers calling you to where if someone tries to haggle with you, that's fine. You have more estimates lined up, right? So for you, Mizael M, I would say what you're going through, I went through it. A lot of people will go through it. If not everybody will go through it. And just focus on doing a good job and just try to get more quotes coming your way. And then that way, if somebody haggles with you, that's fine. And then the only way that you really get better at dealing with these hagglers is just to go through them. There's no way around it. You have to go through these quotes, these awkward quotes, and then just realize what they are for what they're worth, and then just move forward. And either you stand tall by your price, or you fold and you give into the price just so you can go on the job. And then it can just be a temporary short time thing. And as soon as you get enough customers, you can drop these $25 yards just because you got your boat afloat by taking them on in the beginning and paying your dues. But just remember, there's always endless yards for you to take on, and the business only stops growing whenever you stop trying to grow it. So I hope that helps, but it will get easier. When you're in the beginning, it's hard to say no to $25 because it's $25 that you didn't have. But as time goes on, as long as you stick in business, you will get busier and you will get more confident and you will be able to command higher prices. Okay, and then last question is from Arturo Flores. He said, so with 2 people, will we get lawns done faster, or how does that work? And so when I used to have a helper, I mean, in theory, you should get done faster, right? If they're the right worker and you guys know your patterns and you guys aren't running into each other with the trimmer versus the mower, like you guys aren't hitting the same corner at the same time, and then you got to stop and let him go around, or you have to stop and then they let you go around, or whatever. You should be able to finish with a worker who's clearly knowing what to do and what not to do, so you guys could interchange the services, or like you always mow, he always trims, or vice versa. I think in that light, then yeah, you can get done faster. But I think there's a lot more to it than just getting done faster. It just depends on the efficiency of you two and what you're paying them, what you're doing. And I mean, obviously, if you have one good worker, which is yourself, and then you have another good worker, then yeah, you'll get done faster. But okay, then think about how is it a part-time worker or a full-time worker? Do you have to keep them busy week after week, or is it just like a friend and you just take them whenever you want to take them? And like, how are you paying them? Is it fair to keep them happy? It goes into a lot of deep detail, but yeah, you should get done faster with 2 people, Arturo. It just depends on, the one thing I could tell you from my experience is it doesn't matter what you do as long as you're planning on sticking with it. So if you want to have a worker for the remainder of a few months or a season or the year, then build your business model around it. You're going to have to get more yards to where you can even out how much you're paying them with the revenue that you're coming in. And that's okay. If you have a worker who you can trust to show up week after week, then you could build up the clientele to where you could make more money by having a helper, and you could bring in more money, and you can make more money, and you could pay your worker more money. That's fine. You could do that. But it's hard to have a worker if it's intermittent, and sometimes you might need them for a week and sometimes you might not. then I don't know if that would be getting done faster in theory, because you're coming in and out of your, like, you're doing two different business models of being solo than having a worker and just having to switch your days around to where when you call the worker, you better have 10-15 yards, because if you bring a worker for 3 yards and it's just like $50 per mow, then it's not that, it might not be worth it for him if it takes 2 hours to do those yards, right? So it becomes really technical. But Arturo, to answer your question in practicality, yes, if you have another worker, you should get done faster, but that's just one layer of the onion that you go forward with. So versus thinking about, like, will you be getting done faster, Arturo, I would say you should do it by yourself to start out, and then hire a helper, and then see how it feels and see whatever you like to roll with. Like, obviously, I like working by myself. I've had workers, and there's pros and cons with everything. Being solo isn't perfect, obviously, for obvious reasons, but I'm sustainable with it. I've been sustainable with it, and I enjoy it, and I see my ceiling. But for the money that I can make being solo, I feel like it's fine, and it gives me room and energy to do other things that I want to do with my time. So I hope that helps, Arturo. I want you to go and do it and then come back and report to us. And then if you're watching this video, what do you like? You tell me your thoughts. If you are more, if your business model is based around having workers more than it is for me, because I'm solo, then you tell me your experiences. I love to hear it. So I hope this little 3 questions help. Sometimes I'll reply to like comments. Sometimes it'll be questions. Sometimes it will just be like someone sharing their tips. Maybe it will be like a criticism or something. I'll apply to everything. I think it's kind of what I'm interested in doing now. And yeah, I recorded a work vlog the other day, but honestly, my yards are still kind of funny looking from all the snow, so I probably won't upload it. I'll just do the next one. And I just went to Utah for a couple days, and I made a second channel, and I know I've had a second channel before, but I'll just play with it for now. I think the one thing that I can guarantee to you is that nothing is guaranteed for anyone in anyone's life, so I think it's cool to be open and to change your views and stuff. I don't know, but yeah. Okay, hope you enjoyed. MakeMoneyMoan.com. Peace out.